I heard this word, gratitude, and I said, wow. When we talk about gratitude, you and me have fallen short of God's glory. You have taught and encouraged your children to always say thank you and please. Yet sometimes, when you do something good and no one experiences the gratitude, you feel so sad and disappointed. The faster we learn, the faster we forget. We have forgotten that we too are doing the same to God. We have failed to pass on the same respect that we want other people to pass on onto us. Many of you out there feel so sad and disappointed when you extend a hand or when you give assistance to somebody and they never experience how grateful or even they don't say thank you to you. My question to you now, how often have you thanked God? For the last time I remember is when you were praying, begging and asking, please, but when you received, you never returned to thank and be grateful for He who has given to you. You claim to have forgotten. How come you never forget to pray while you are in need? Stop treating God like a Santa Claus. But even the little children that we have taught to say thank you, remember to be grateful to the gifts, although they never saw Him. You who has seen, heard, read, cannot go back to say thank you to the Father, for He has provided. And yet the little one can say thank you to Santa Claus, whom he even doesn't know. Let us be reborn back in the glory. I know majority of you out there even may not even know what the word gratitude means. Okay. Gratitude can be defined as the quality of being thankful, showing appreciation for and to return kindness to that has given to you. Voltaire put it right, and I concur with him 100%. He said, appreciation is a wonderful thing. It makes what is excellent in others belong to us as well, because happiness and fulfillment is contagious. When you say thank you when you're happy, the person you've said thank you to will also become happy. In Luke 17, we find that out of the 10 blessings and people Jesus had healed, only the leper came back to show appreciation and express his gratefulness. The others ran away into the clouds. Many of you are just like the others. After receiving your blessings, you disappear. You run away. Nobody even knows where you've gone. Yet when you're seeking, when you're asking, you made it so public. Why don't you make it public after you've received? By being grateful and thanking that has given you. In Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 18 says, in everything give thanks, for it is God's will for you in Christ Jesus. Gratitude should be immediate and honest. When somebody does something good for you, let it be immediate. That's the cause you're forgetting always, oftenly. What does Psalms chapter 107 verse 1 say? It says, give thanks to the Lord, for He is good, His love endures forever. That's why you pray before and after eating. Let us see what happened to the Israelites in Exodus chapter 15 verse 2. After the Israelites had crossed the Red Sea and were free at last, they saw that Pharaoh and his army had disappeared and died in the waves. Moses and his sister Miriam started praising God. They started singing. They started celebrating for the victory that He had brought onto them, for the victory of liberation, because the Lord had liberated them from the Egyptians. So what did He do? They had to sing the song of the sea in celebration and extending their gratefulness to God. Okay, you might be there and ask, how does gratefulness, being thankful, change my life? Remember the words of Robert Breather. He said, gratitude and attitude are not challenges, they are choices. For there, you need to choose to be grateful, to be thankful. I know it's not easy to be grateful or to be thankful. However, you need to take note of some things, because being grateful is not a norm. It is a choice that develops and becomes a habit within you. How does it? You need to take note. Notice everything around you. Reflect upon the things that you are grateful for, or reflect about the experiences you've gone through and make them feel alive within you. After they have felt alive within you, that's when you will feel thankful to God. Many of you out there have preserved that moment of gratefulness. You've preserved those moments or occasions when you receive a promotion at work or something big has happened, but rather you cannot be grateful for the small things. Just like when a person offers you a bottle of water, many of you can't even say thank you. When you buy yourself a cake and it tastes delicious and you love it, you can't say, wow, this is nice. Or even go ahead and tell the person who has sold you that cake that was amazing. It's just because you don't have that norm within you of saying thank you. Do not wait for after to be thankful. You can be thankful even before receiving. You know the story when Jesus had been followed by 1,000 people, surrounded by them. He gave thanks to God before feeding them. The story of Lazarus. Jesus gave thanks to the Lord before even Lazarus had rose from the grave. What are you waiting for? Start today to be grateful and you will receive. It's a guarantee. Stop complaining about the unknown. Start giving thanks. Be like Mary. In Luke chapter 1 verse 46 to 55, Mary gave thanks to God. When the angels told Mary about her gift from the Lord to being pregnant and giving birth to Jesus Christ, she went out and started praising the Lord. She thanked God. However much she knew that pregnancy was out of wedlock, future was being uncertain, risk of having shunned, being thrown away from her family, condemned even to death, she was thankful to God for the unexpected gift. What are you thankful for? Why are you there waiting for something to happen for you to be grateful? Be grateful now because tomorrow is clear. He says he's good today, tomorrow, and forever. Stop complaining. Step forth. Move forward and God will give you. The story of the Israelites when Moses was told to tell the Israelites to move forward. When they moved forward, God told him, raise your hand and the stick and the Red Sea will separate. He never told him separate and then move. No, they moved, they stepped forward and the Red Sea. You too, stop complaining. I love the words of Confucius. He said, I was complaining that I had no shoes till I met a man who had no feet. You are there complaining of the things that you have, yet there are people who do not have what you have. That calls for gratitude, ladies and gentlemen. Be grateful to that which you have first, before asking for more. Jesus gave thanks to his Father with only one loaf of bread and fish. He had before they even multiplied, for him to be able to feed the 1,000 hungry crowd. Therefore, give thanks to God with that you have, and he will multiply it to that you do not have, and you receive that you do not have. Don't be selfish and entitled to want more. First, appreciate that you have, and God will add on to you. As we said, being thankful is a habit. However, it is not that easy to develop that habit into your DNA. Science has said that to make a habit or permanent in you, it takes 21 or 72 days of constant, insistent practice. How can you make gratitude your daily DNA? 1. Take 5 minutes every morning and journal down what you're grateful for. It can be either for a new day. Just imagine how many people have slept and did not get up. Imagine how many people are in bed and have failed to get up because maybe they're sick. How special are you who has made it to see the sunrise? Be grateful to God. Be grateful to your family and friends. How many people out there do not belong to families or even do not have families or have lost their families? Be grateful for you get up. Look at your families. Look at your children. Look at your brothers, sisters out there. Be grateful to that for the Lord. How many people? Be grateful for your work. Many people are on their jobs. For you, you are working. You are fulfilling your purpose. You're fulfilling your passion. That means you're happy, delighted, and fulfilled. While others at their jobs are stressed, disappointed. Be grateful to that you realized your purpose and discovered who you are, and you're working towards your greatness. Have you seen people in the morning and you say, oh my God, this one got up on the wrong side of the bed? Why? He was thankful, embraced with what God has given to him. When you become happy, when you become grateful, when you become thankful to the Lord in the morning, first thing, it will increase your dopamine and serotonin levels that trigger a great mood of happiness and fulfillment and will take you throughout the day. Everybody will see and say, oh my God, he's so happy, because we have seen people who come to us early in the morning and they are reflecting happiness, they're reflecting fulfillment, they're reflecting encouragement and empowerment because these people are grateful. Because when you become grateful, you appreciate what God has given you. Science has gone further to prove that your willpower is normally high in the morning than the rest of the day. The way you determine your morning determines how you're going to spend your day. For that reason, watch out how you start your morning. Let your morning be for productive things, and gratitude should be number one on that list because it will reflect throughout the day. 2, start by journaling regularly. Journal of those moments you're thankful. Journal on those moments or things that you're grateful for. In Jeremiah chapter 32 verse 2, instructs us to write it in a book, all the words that the Lord spoke to you. This can be experiences or moments that you're grateful and thankful for. When you capture and write those moments in a book, the next generation to come will see what the Lord provided for you and they will celebrate. Don't be a thief. Do not cheat, because what you're supposed to do today will determine what the next generation will benefit. So if you do not write, that means the next generation will not have anything to be worthy for or praise the Lord for. Today, we glorify the Lord because he saved the Israelites from the Egyptians. Why? Because all this is written down in the Bible. Imagine Moses, Paul, Peter, James did not write what the experiences were. Would have been cheated from the experiences. 3, you need to be mindful of the things around you. This will help you notice new things that you wouldn't have noticed if you're busy, distracted, or being busy. When you get mindful, that means you've changed your focus and your daily habits onto that you've longed and wished to have or wished to be. You know, technology has distracted us today. A friend calls you, he stays somewhere, he directs you, and you go there. But after 2 to 3 days, you can't even remember the road that took you there. Why? On your way to his place, you are distracted. You are on your phone, talking to somebody. You did not take note. You are not mindful of the road that took you to here. And you claim and walk to be attentive. Be specific to what exactly you're thankful about. Don't just say thank you. Thank you actually is a verb. It's an action. I've seen people who say thank you when they've already reached the other road or reached the other door. Be detailed. When you say thank you to somebody, tell them why you're saying thank you. Give them the reason that has made you say thank you. With that, you will empower yourself and your will and your thought. That means it will be implanted in your DNA because you have spiced it up. You have given the reason, and somebody will always remember that he has done, and will be also encouraged to do the same to the other person because it is contagious. When you're happy, the people around you become happy. When you say thank you with a reason, the other person who has received the thank you with a reason will also say thank you with a reason to another person. At the end of the day, we are all happy. You need to also track down yourself upon grateful moments, all those memorable moments. Many of the people do not love writing, but that should not be a limitation. You can sing. Sing like the song of the sea after the Israelites had been helped away from the Egyptians. King Pharaoh had just drowned by the waves of the sea. They started singing. They started celebrating. They had the joy. They had to be grateful. So don't use writing as an excuse. You can just sing. Sing and record yourself. You all have smartphones. Record yourself and keep it there for the next generation to know how the Lord has been faithful, how the Lord has been there, and how the Lord has blessed you. Number 5, you need to be social about your gratitude practice. I cannot put it better than Robert Emmons. He said, it's better to focus our gratitude on people than on material things or circumstances, for it boosts the experience and benefit your joy. Because when you start with people, people are the ones that work the material things, and people are the ones that create the circumstances. So if you're grateful to the source, that means everything around them will be okay. And how can you do this? Send a gratitude SMS to a friend over something good they did for you or they have done for you. Share your grateful moments with your friends and people around you, for their comments and expressions may give you something or may give you more reasons to be grateful too. I know you're there asking, why should I be grateful or thankful? Or how can I show that I'm grateful or thankful? I'm going to tell you why you should be thankful. 1. Gratitude will attract people to like you and love you more. Start appreciating and giving thanks to those people around you. In Luke chapter 6 verse 38, Jesus calls each one of us to practice giving. For when you do, people will give to you as well. Actually, people will give you in abundantly. People will give you pressed down, shaken, overflowing with no measure. Why? Because you gave. A hand, remember, a hand that gives is a hand that receives. However, do not give expecting to receive. Let it be your norm. Let it be your DNA of giving, because you will receive more when you give. You need not to go very far. Start with your family. When you get up in the morning, tell your wife or tell whoever is besides you or around you how much you love them. When they've prepared you a good meal, tell them how delicious it is. That will do magic, ladies and gentlemen. In Corinthians chapter 3 verse 25, tells us that lasting happiness comes not from merely saying thank you occasionally, but from having a grateful disposition. What are you depositing, if I may ask? 2, gratitudeness teaches us how to discipline our thoughts. It helps us to train yourself to be thankful other than gambling and struggling, enslaved to times and urgency. For example, you're at work, you're thinking of home. You're at home, you're thinking about work. You're at home, you're thinking about struggling. God says, stand, hold, be still, and know that the Lord will provide. And how do you do that? Be grateful with that you already have. If you're at work, be grateful. If you get home, be grateful for your family. If you're having the meal, be grateful than being enslaved in urgency and time. I'm very sure if you follow the instructions of Paul in Philippians, you'll love the ice cream of the cake. He says, be grateful towards that which is noble, excellent, and praiseworthy. 1. Grateful to noble things, excellent things, and they should be praiseworthy. 3. Gratitude erodes envy. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4, love does not envy. But we often find ourselves desiring, time after time, being tempted to covet the lives, the success, the possessions, and relationships of other people. However, if you have love, therefore, you move and appreciate all that you have and have been given, rather than trying to being caught up, trying to admire and fancy other people's success, possessions, and lives. Focus your eyes to the Lord and not to the people, for the Lord will provide. As you learn to be thankful, take a leaf from Jesus. Actually, Jesus is the president, a very good example for all of us. Jesus, during the Last Supper with his disciples, when he knew he was going to be crucified, he gave thanks to the Lord, irrespective. He gave thanks to the Lord. David, no matter the challenges and seasons that befell him, he danced and gave thanks to the Lord as well, even when he lost his son. Gratitude has no event and has no occasion and has no place. Do it anywhere, with whoever and whatever the circumstance, as long as it comes from deep within your heart. My question to you now, do you know where to direct your praise and thanks today? What are you carrying that may seem burdensome or frightening, that you feel you cannot be grateful and thankful to God? People and nature will always disappoint you. The only compass is to focus your eyes, focus your attention onto Christ, and you'll be relieved, you'll be happy, you'll be fulfilled, and you'll be grateful. With that, you'll pass it on to the next generation.